Hi everyone, it's Jen from Mind's Eye, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to look at the psychic reading or look into the unknown about obscurities. And today we definitely see and hear about relenting and how relenting actually causes obscurities. So when you actually see obscurities to the highest of max, you can't get a gone. You can't get a gone. You can't be like a go away. You can't see anything coming. So when you relent, you actually max it out to the point where it becomes criminal. And when it becomes criminal, then you have to actually write it out on paper. And then when you write it out on paper, you got to put it through, right through the system. And when you put it right through the system, they say why there is this delay. So then when you say there's a delay because of like incident, then you say, then what is actually really going on that you had to delay it? And then when you delay it, then you can't even do it. You can't even do it. You literally can't even see it coming. So when you see this Nine of Spades coming, it really is a max out that came through. And when you have this max out, wherever it is in America, wherever it is in the world, the King of Hearts came through. And when it came through to the highest of max, where people were in their houses because it was cold and flu and COVID and all of it, that you can't even believe how it is. To where they say, how dare you, how dare you, how dare you. So when you see the Two of Clubs, it really is like two to four people going in at once on one topic to prove out and to prove in. It's heinous. So when you do that, it is a delay even more in law enforcement, in military, and legal, and in judicial. And then they say, I just don't understand why I have to have a hearing. So when you see this Five of Hearts, that hearing comes in because someone relented and actually delayed to the max. So when you see the Three of Diamonds come through, you say, we relented a go through due to an impedance of whatever it was and we couldn't go do. So where is the obscurity? The obscurity is where it lies. So where it lies is not always in like what came out of the mouth of the person who is presenting. It literally comes through in the energy that flows through their mind, body, and soul, as I say. And then it actually comes through and then you go about. So when you actually talk about like energy vampires and you go through energy vampires so hard to where you have to say there's something about Jesus and Jack the Ripper do something of that nature. You have to say who's lying. Who's lying? Where is this energy flowing through? There are here, at least in Connecticut, we had 7 instances. Some say 10. No one is to know of people of human remains finding in the graveyards. So when you see it and you have to say, where is that obscurity? Because it just like holds and folds to folds four. The King of Clubs literally says it would say like a stay about, but in reality, when you are doing it, it's a look about. It's a look about. When you see the Queen of Spades come in and you say, where is it? It's everything and anything is all or nothing. So, as we've talked about in prior instances in this episodes about how illegal substances, to even OTCs, which we always say is the DEA nightmare, where you come in and they have polypharmacy, and they have polypharmacy because they have multiple comorbidities, because they're so sick, they're so ill, they have so much pain, nothing is like giving it up. So like, what is this where everyone says the DEA, the FDA, the CDC, the DPH, up to JCO and all of it to OSHA says this Five of Spades goes, just get her out of here, literally get her out of here, or get him out of here. Who is her? And you go, all of a sudden there's a facial phrase. And you go, wait a minute. What is two? You have the Ace of Clubs. It really is a get together. It's a get together. So how you get a get together on the Four of Hearts? The Four of Hearts really goes through unknown to unknown to a known to an unknown. And then you have to say, can you spell that? And that's when you know. And that's when you know. So when you see this Nine of Diamonds come through and you say, you really just can't even take the car out. I don't really think that you should be going out right now. I mean, there's nothing like Ted Bundy. Well, things have changed. You have this Ten of Spades here, and it's not how we do policy, procedure, and protocol. So when you see Seven of Diamonds and you go, yeah, that's a cut to it. That's a cut to it. A cut to it when you're in law enforcement and military, legal and judicial, that literally means you're just going to find something and just go right out. Go take a ride out. Find anything and anything and something and nothing. To go and look and listen. But did they do? You're not to know when they do. It's the time of their picking unbeknownst. So when you see it at this Jack of Diamonds and the Ten of Diamonds, it says it really is a true. It really is a true. Now, when I say it, it really has this 12 feeling. It really is giving me a 12. The number 12, when it comes out with this, the Joker card, you can't do. You just can't do. Now, when I do this and I max a mark and I'm looking, you got the 12. I see you grow to the high point where you can't even see the Seven of Hearts with this Joker. Everyone is looking and listening. Everyone is looking and listening. So as we go back, we have the Eight of Hearts is the energy. So when you're relenting and you have obscurities and then you have crime in the community and you can't get anything done whatsoever because you got to look, listen, and then you got to cut to it. And then you have daily life where you can't even go out and pay your bills proper because it's cold and flu season and you got to do universal precautions. And then you just got this like eerie and leery feeling like maybe I should come home a little bit early. It really means the Seven of Hearts with the energy with the Eight of Hearts. It really means you have to do your own like whole situation of your day. You have to plan your own plans. Don't go out with like a bunch. So when we do this and we go, I just don't even know. Let's see what the White Sage Tarot says. What do we need to know about relenting, relentless, to where everyone is readjusting like this thing of relenting to capitulating to these terms that we have seen before during COVID? What do we need to know? How would this cause this obscurity? It's a type of block. It is unknown. It is new. You can't do it. You can't like do it twice. It's like a stay in place order. It's like whoever put this block out it's like a stay in place order. So when I see this Three of Wands, it's foreseen. We already know. When you see this Queen of Swords, like you're not even get to it when you have this type of relenting. And when you see this, you're not going to complete anything about your day. Like you can wake up and you can sit there and you say, I'm going to do 4 tasks around the house today. You're lucky to get 1. It really is almost like a master puppeteer. So when you see this, the Seven of Pentacles, there really is no skill to get past the block. It really is like a game, like a child's play that people do even on daily basis to like win a game. When you see 4 of Pentacles in reverse, there's no securements. When you see the Temperance, you see this whole thing go about a balance. All forms and a meaning to the ending. And when you see it and you see the Knight of Swords, you go, holy cow, you gotta do. You gotta do, you gotta do, you gotta do it. Now, when you see this and you see this Knight of Swords, you have to say that it really is a go through. The Knight of Swords to the Five of Pentacles in reverse There's the block. There's the block. You can't do it whatsoever. Mm-mm. So, as this bitter taste comes into my mouth, you go into this Knight of Wands, and it really comes in harsh and fast, but you can't do at all. When you see this, it's dictative. It will come in like a spark of the moment, and then you see this, and you go to the Hanged Man, and there become like a pause, like a rest, and then you have a go for it, and then you go Ace of Pentacles. There's like money on the table. There's contracts on the table. And then you hear the High Priestess, and you go, there's hidden motives. I don't like it. There's trickery, the Magician in reverse. And then you say, there it is. There's the new beginning. There is this new beginning, the Ace of Wands. But there's no deal. There's no offering. There's nothing to like give or take. That's the Six of Pentacles in reverse. So when you see this and you see the Six of Swords, you go, you can't even see it. You can't even see it whatsoever. And what can we get out of it? It really goes no. So the last time in Connecticut where we had a be at bay order, it was really when Mansfield Training School and the North State Hospital were operating. And it really went to like a gas, a GAST on, to a like a gasp, to like a be at B, which is not how I spell it, to it known. And then it goes, you can't even sue anyone whatsoever. And then you say, well, I'm just stuck here. I'm stuck in this like field, in this position, and you just can't even see it coming. And you see the Six of Cups in reverse, and it's not something that you want to remember, especially if like history is repeating itself and people are relenting, which is, like we said, the energy all of a sudden like change about what relenting is. The King of Pentacles means there's like a type of greed that came in that you can't even talk about, like Ted Bundy on how he did that with insurance. So when you see this and you see the Two of Wands, and you go, I mean, it's like a looking glass out the window. It's a wish in one hand and a want in another, and see what actually comes true. So when you see the King of Cups come in, there is balance, there is attunement, there's everything, but you must go. You must go and do, because there is this type of it's showing me like in mediumship a tree. It's showing me like a tree and like woods, a forest. And as a tree grows over time, it goes to growth. And when it goes to growth, you can't even do. And when you can't even do, you can't even like sue anyone on a property line to where it changed in like 400 years. And like I said, I mean, this town in here was settled around the 1700s, to the where we had to talk about, George Washington and the pig at one point about possession here in Ashford. So when you look at it and you say the Four of Swords, you can't even do anything. It's just put it at rest. Put it at rest. The star actually comes through and goes, you can't even like fulfill wishes on that, because it really was a witch hunt during this time in the 1700s. Like, you couldn't even make it up, Aries. So when you see this, and I say somebody tried to put that right in my mouth, this is Aries. Five of Swords literally says you can't even see it coming. It hits so hard that you can't even believe how hard it is. This Five of Swords to the Ace of Pentacles, when it comes through to relenting, it goes to a stop, go, still, forward, be what may, to the day it says, say me through. And you go, what does that mean? What does that mean? That is how, like, when they push everything to the max to see your mental, emotional to physical tolerance to anything that you might have been suspect of delaying. You can't even believe how hard it is to actually come in through. So this 10 of cups actually brings like this like contentment after you delayed something because you got it through, you got it through, you lined your dots to your ducks, to your T, you docked your I's, and you have your E's to be what may when you walk into anything that you had to like go into person for. So how is it, going back, running it back to obscurities? Like we said, obscurities are something that is hidden that you just can't even see past your nose. So right now, I would say in the collective, the seeing past your nose that you can't even see, it really has to do with taxes. And it really has to do with the IRS. So how would relenting with the IRS, with the cattle ranchers, to anything that they say is relenting? It really is like a go for it, like go for it. It's like a taunting that's going on in America. And when they go through this taunt and they push it to the max, like filing your taxes to having a delay, and here I am. Here it is. It's like giving my sign. I gotta rub my nose that you can't even do. So that one would be like a hard pill to swallow. And there's just something that you just couldn't do. But really, it was just this whole thing where you go, like we've done this before and we already know what to do. Whatever is going on, like everyone says, we're going through this like deja vu event. Like we've been through this before. Absorbing what is not yours. Highly, 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 highly. So when you see this in the pulse of the mother and slow down time and nature, you can't even do. So when I say you go to it, you go to coping mechanisms, density, addiction, let God in. You literally have to say it. When you go this and you go, unique nature, let yourself be seen. Absolutely. You have to say soul, gifts, and training. It's time to step up. There's something that has to be dug out. Like we said, this unveiling, but we've been having this unveiling. What is it true? Baby steps. Follow your intuition before it makes sense. So when you see it and you see codependency and boundaries, absolutely. All of a sudden you see people who come back into your life and then all of a sudden like relationships like start anew or they do a move on as like anticipated or they say we've foreseen there could be a move on in this whole ordeal. It really is like all of a sudden you see them saying, I'm sorry, like I really got to get up and I got to move and I got to get a new apartment. I've got to get a new house. And all of a sudden as my personal experience over Easter, it was, yeah, we need to go get a new house. We need a bigger house and we need to maybe look at something a little bit better, a little bit more stable. So when you see it, like when you say the intelligence of the universe already like is within you, it lies within you. I feel like it's a little play and a troll on words when it comes to relenting. When you see this, you really have to be counterintuitive right now, at least for another 12 weeks. So when you see this, you see my will to thy will, micromanaging the universe, I see like task lists, to-do lists. Like you have to stay on task all of a sudden. There we go. Here we go. There it is. So somebody tried to, in mediumship, do this. Knock it out of my hands. This Ace of Cup really talks about everything that is like a foreseen, like if you are a psychic, even if you're not. When you see the Queen of Swords, it's not going to make sense. Like as a psychic, when you see it, it makes no sense. You look at it, you're like, are you sure? And you have to be 100%. 100%. When you see the High Priestess, you literally got to use everything about yourself. Everything. Especially when you're doing psychic work. When you see the Four of Swords, it's going to be restless, highly restless. And when you see this, you see the Three of Pentacles in reverse, there's no teamwork. But when you look at it and you say temperance, there is balance. You have to go Knight of Pentacles. You can't even believe, like, the offering comes in true. So when you go to, the Nine of Pentacles, you go, it is true. It is true. There's prudency. What is this actually coming through? What do we need to know? What is coming through? Something got a little bit more heavy than I wished for. Here we go. It's about, like, are we in reality or are we living in a fantasy? And when you see it, it's this type of, like, play that comes through, this act. And you say it changes your perspective. And it really has to work with, like, togetherness, like a teamwork, like we were saying. But then there's no teamwork. And then you see this, and it has to do with family. And I hear it's balanced. When I see this is like this noose card is saying, go to it. And when you see it and you see rabbit, you go, it's like sound and frequency. When you see this, it has to do with humanity. When you see humanity, it's just like a normal daily habits. And when you see this, you have to pace yourself because you can't even believe it's like this mystery that comes through. I'm seeing 5 to 8 areas in America do this. You can't even understand it. And when you see it, it has a lot of power. A lot of power. So when you do it and you go, holy cow, we can't even do. We just can't even do. When you see this, it's pace yourself to get the justice. There's something about it when you see tree. When you actually max out, and it's like you use every law and addendum and referendum and policy and procedure, even in other entities, and you do it as like one whole form, because each, like, workplace has something to offer that's good for a policy, procedure, and a protocol. Through legislature, they have to say, like, I really don't have to move or file a suit or file anything, because if you come to my door at that point, I'm actually not even done running it down legally and lawfully. Even if you don't even pay your light bill because you saw it and you're like, I'm not paying this. This is where it actually is like an energy, like, I'm seeing like explosion. I don't know why it's explosion. It is a get-togetherness. Known. Like, these people are like known. When you see it, you see it in their eyes. Like, they're tired. They're exhausted. Something had come through over the last 3 to 9 years that you just can't explain, like, this energy where people are like, no, I'm going to wait a little bit longer before I file taxes. No, I'm going to wait a little longer before I go to the police because something is just not right. And then you go, hold on, I'm going to wait until I go to court and file that paperwork. I know when to do it. All of a sudden, I'm just there and I do it. This wings, it goes, holy cow. You can't even, like, go on vacation. When you see this, it's actually blatant. It's stir the pot. Stir the pot. It's happened in history. Stirring the pot. So when you have an obscurity and you in your own house are like, you know what? There's just something not right. I'm just going to clean the house a little bit. And all of a sudden you're like, it's right there. It's right there. Here it is. What do I need to know? And then you go, why'd you bring that up? I needed it. Thank you. And then you go, it's like blocking everything in the bedroom. Well, I needed it there. Okay, thank you. And then you go, yep, we needed it right there because we have to go to it. What do I need to know? What do they need to know about relenting and obscurities even further? There we go. It really goes further than a max. I see a lot of people quiet in America right now. They're trying to wonder about this like deja vu, and it's really strong. When you see this and you say it really like alleviates this kind of ornery, like gruff way of living, and that pause literally goes, yes. There's like no deal on the table whatsoever. And you look at it, they're like, no, no, like I can literally help you. This is that liberation. What is this liberation that's coming through? It had to do with a tariff, and it has to do with tariff with China. And that tariff in China literally, like, for lack of a better term, blew it out. And when it blew it out, it went to all forms of the meaning of spelling, to the vapes, to everything where you just can't even have it. As you know, foreseen, it would boil down to where it was like heavily regulated about e-vapes and e-cigarettes because of what it can do potentially. It had to do with like a type of dishonor that came in and came through. So high, like unsecurement, to where they couldn't even like get a task done without doing it 16 times a day. And when you see it and you go, it really is fulfilled wishes. And you see this and you see this Nine of Cups. It was happiness, but it's going to cause chaos as always. As always. So there it is. This is where actually people get upset, even though, they had health problems from it. All right. Play it in Oracle. What else do we need to know? Dolphin play. Like you could hear things to where they played games, and that's why we have unresolved issues with racketeering. Transmission, like you could hear it through CB radio, you could hear it through regular radio frequencies to anything else of that. So when you see this and you see star senders, it really has to do with a box. And then when you hear it and you hear quantum heart, like it kept going on, regenerating because of continued use. And when you see this, it actually had staph infections. When I see this, it's not even a North Star, to where they actually said, no, I guided it in. Sound codex, and I was like, no staph infections. Sound codexes, it really is like traffic lights. And when you see this, then it went to, here we go, here comes the trucks. Here comes the trucks. And then all of a sudden you have a timeline jump of like anything that you've been trying to discover or research or anything like that. Sacred geometrics, this is actually a trolling. Like they were seeing the colors worse than the Crips and the Bloods. Here we go. Lastly, let's close with this. Let's go to the runes. Highly defensive, as always. And then when you see this, you go, living. Yep, they are. They're good. And then when you see this, you see joy. They're happy because they're calm and they're contented. But then they play. This room literally means that they're playing. When you see this, ulcers, GI problems, to lower GI, to where they can't even, this like day, this literally Dega means they couldn't even get a doctor. They couldn't even get a doctor whatsoever. Gift, absolutely. You couldn't even see it. Couldn't. It really had to do with everything about how your body is a house, how like its heritage, its estate, its culture, to all forms of meaning of culture, to a derogatory way of explaining this, to culture, like a lab culture, to everything that actually you look at it and you're like, it's still highly obscured. What else is going on in there? Lastly, with this one, it's like something about collecting through, and that's all you need to know. So, with that being said, any questions or concerns, leave a like, a comment, a share, an email. It's greatly appreciated, and we will talk to you soon. Have a good night.